A royal secret buried beneath Buckingham, exposed by none other than Prince William himself. What began as a quiet tip spiraled into a palace-shaking investigation, revealing a hidden vault, encrypted files, and a trail leading straight to Queen Camilla. Surveillance devices, forbidden documents, and a plan to manipulate the monarchy? This isn't fiction. It's the most explosive royal twist in decades. Stay with us as we uncover how William's discovery may have saved the crown itself. The whisper that started it all. It began on a chilly Tuesday morning in April 2024, when a longtime palace staffer named Jonathan Myers quietly approached Prince William in the corridor near the Green Drawing Room. Jonathan had noticed 3 separate late-night deliveries being routed through a disused service tunnel near the Queen's Gallery, an area of Buckingham Palace that had reportedly been sealed off since 2019. The deliveries bore no royal insignia, only Camilla's personal crest, a golden C intertwined with a rose, often used for her private engagements. This detail, combined with the unusual security logs, immediately raised concerns for William. He knew Buckingham had secrets, but what could Camilla possibly be hiding beneath the very seat of royal power? 2 days later, on April 11, 2024, William called a private meeting with his personal security advisor, Major Ellis Rains, who served under him since his time with the RAF Search and Rescue. Reviewing security logs dating back 6 months, Ellis noticed 5 instances where Camilla's private secretary, Edward Bartram, had used an outdated clearance code to access the underground level near the West Storage Wing. The code had been decommissioned in early 2023, yet remained functional, an oversight with potentially massive implications. William instructed Ellis to quietly install discreet monitoring devices around the suspected area, emphasizing that King Charles must not be alerted until they confirmed the situation. By April 18th, the surveillance footage was damning. Camilla had entered the sealed corridor twice in 1 week, alone, at exactly 10:47 p.m. both times. She remained inside for approximately 1 hour and emerged looking visibly tense, occasionally glancing over her shoulder. No official itinerary, security escort, or staff logs recorded these movements. That week, William's concern deepened into full-fledged suspicion. He confided only in Princess Anne, who advised him to act before the information became buried, or worse, erased. The time had come to investigate the vault beneath Buckingham. On the morning of April 21st, William personally led a 3-man internal security team into the restricted corridor. After bypassing a panel hidden behind a supply shelf marked "Textiles, Do Not Move," they discovered a reinforced steel door fitted with biometric access. To their shock, the system bore a logo from a private security firm based in Geneva, not a UK defense contractor. Inside, they uncovered a climate-controlled vault, lined with locked drawers, hard drives, and sealed boxes stamped with Camilla's crest. The silence in the room was overwhelming. What they had found was no simple storage space. This was an unauthorized royal archive, created and maintained entirely outside of protocol. Prince William stood in the vault for nearly 15 minutes before speaking. What lay before him wasn't just troubling, it was treasonous. Camilla had built an off-the-books operation in one of the most secure royal residences in the world. The implications were massive. If this cache contained documents or recordings meant to influence the monarchy's future or damage its heirs, then William was now holding a ticking time bomb in his hands. And the next step would be even riskier, uncovering what exactly she had hidden here. Inside the vault. Prince William stepped deeper into the dimly lit chamber, the cold air hitting him with the sharpness of a December night in 2022 as his eyes adjusted. On the left wall, he found a row of 27 metal drawers, each labeled with initials, several of them unmistakably belonging to senior royals such as W.A. William Arthur and A.E. Anne Elizabeth. A stack of sealed envelopes on the top shelf bore the date 14th March 2021, a day associated with several palace controversies. Special words 2022-27, 14th March 2021. The files were arranged with military precision, almost like dossiers prepared for intelligence briefings. William immediately sensed that whoever maintained this vault had done so with long-term planning in mind. This was no accident, and certainly no simple storage area. On the far side of the vault, William found a cluster of former external hard drives, exactly 16 of them, sorted neatly in padded cases. Several were labeled CM Strategic Notes 2020 to 2024, which instantly caught his attention. He turned to his security advisor, Major Ellis Rains, who whispered that these drives appeared to use encryption protocols similar to Level 9 security systems, typically reserved for high-level government communication. Special words 16, 2020 to 2024, Level 9. William picked up a file marked Diana Archive, Restricted. The presence of his mother's name, especially in a private vault hidden beneath Buckingham Palace, sent a jolt of anger through him. Why was Diana here? Why were documents about her sealed away in a chamber Camilla appeared to control? Near the back of the vault, William found 3 long crates, numbered 001, 004, and 009, each bearing shipping manifests from a warehouse outside Geneva, dated August 2023. Inside, he discovered high-end audio equipment capable of recording conversations from up to 22 meters away, along with miniature cameras disguised as decorative pins and brooches. Special words 001, August 2023, 22 meters. William recognized instantly that these devices could only serve one purpose: surveillance. More troubling still was a smaller box labeled Windsor Project, Phase 2, which contained printed maps of Kensington Palace, Highgrove, and several royal offices. Someone had been planning something far beyond simple observation. It looked like a coordinated effort to monitor multiple royal households. But the most shocking discovery came when William opened the climate-controlled drawer at the center of the room. Inside was a binder labeled Contingency Ascension Pathway, Draft 3, 19th October 2022. The document described hypothetical future leadership structures within the monarchy, except none of the scenarios included William as the next in line. Instead, the drafts emphasized alternative figures, including references to strength through stability, a phrase William knew Camilla had used in earlier speeches. Special words 19th October 2022, Draft 3, 3 scenarios. Every detail pointed toward long-term planning, and none of it aligned with official palace policy. This wasn't merely suspicious, it was dangerous. William left the vault with photographs, files, and encrypted devices secured in protective cases. The weight of what he'd uncovered sat on his chest like stone. Every item in that room suggested a slow, deliberate attempt to shape the monarchy's future behind closed doors. He knew he couldn't ignore it, and he knew exactly who needed to see the evidence next. The discovery had moved beyond curiosity. It was now a matter of royal security, legacy, and the integrity of the crown itself. And the confrontation was coming soon. William confronts Camilla. William waited until 9:15 p.m. on April 23, 2024, choosing a moment when most palace staff had retired for the evening. He summoned Camilla to the Red Anteroom, a private chamber often used for confidential discussions since 1937. She arrived with a look of irritation, expecting a minor administrative issue. Instead, she found William standing beside a table displaying 7 folders, 3 hard drives, and a printed inventory from the vault. Special words, 9:15 p.m., April 23, 2024, 7. Without raising his voice, William stated plainly, "We found the room beneath Buckingham." Camilla stiffened instantly, her reaction confirming his suspicions before a single document was shown. William opened the folder labeled Diana Archive, Restricted, 2017, placing the content directly in front of Camilla. The file included transcripts, photographs, and personal notes, material never intended for unauthorized hands. The second folder, marked WA 2021 Monitoring Overview, shook her even more. These documents contained speculative behavioral reports about William and Catherine, each stamped with dates such as 12th April 2021 and 7th October 2022. Special words, 2017, 12th April 2021, 7th October 2022. Camilla tried to keep her composure, insisting that the vault was a misunderstanding, an archival overflow. But William countered by pointing to biometric access logs showing that only her fingerprint could open the central drawer. As Camilla attempted to defend herself, William presented the most damaging evidence, the contingency ascension binder. Inside were structural proposals dated 19 October 2022, 4 January 2023, and 11 June 2023. Not a single version acknowledged William as successor to Charles. Instead, the drafts emphasized transitional leadership, a phrase repeated 5 times across the documents. Special words, 4 January 2023, 11 June 2023, 5 times. Camilla's face drained of color. Her explanations turned chaotic. She claimed the plans were academic theory, then claimed they were old drafts, then blamed former advisors. Nothing aligned. Every attempt to justify the vault collapsed under William's calm, documented evidence. The confrontation ended when Camilla tried to accuse palace security of fabricating the vault's contents, a statement that pushed William beyond tolerance. He reminded her that surveillance devices capable of recording sound at 22 meters, crates from Geneva in August 2023, and encrypted hard drives labeled 2020 to 2024 strategic notes were not archivist mistakes. Special words, 22 meters, August 2023, 2020 to 2024. He told her plainly that this would be taken to Charles. Camilla's hands trembled. For the first time, the woman who had weathered decades of controversy looked cornered, not by scandal, but by cold, undeniable evidence discovered beneath the palace itself. Charles learns the truth. William knew he couldn't delay. On April 24th, 2024 at 10 a.m., just 12 hours after confronting Camilla, he walked into Clarence's house, carrying 2 briefcases. Inside sat 54 pages of evidence, a flash drive with vault footage, and a binder labeled Vault Findings, Critical. King Charles was in his study, sipping tea, reviewing speeches for the upcoming May 2024 state opening of Parliament. Charles initially looked amused, until William placed the Diana folder on the desk. Special words, April 24th, 2024, 10 a.m., May 2024, 54 pages. As Charles flipped through the files, the color left his face. He paused when he saw Camilla's handwritten note from March 2022, describing him as too fragile to continue if public health fails again. Another document, dated 17th November 2023, suggested redirecting royal engagements away from William to avoid unpredictable public sympathy surges. Special words: March 2022, 17th November 2023, 2023 engagements. Charles asked, "Why would she write this?" William replied, "Because she doesn't trust what this family stands for. She trusts control." The king sat silently for several minutes. Then he said, "She promised she would never overstep again. That promise is broken." Charles called in his private secretary, Sir Giles Wentworth, and ordered the vault permanently sealed by midnight, April 25th. He demanded a full audit of all staff hired under Camilla since 2018 and suspended all discretionary funding to her private office. Special words: midnight, April 25th, since 2018, Camilla's staff. He also restricted Camilla's access to diplomatic correspondence, previously granted as part of her joint duties. When Sir Giles asked if Camilla should be informed, Charles simply said, "She already knows. The walls in this palace are never silent." It was the first time Charles had ever formally acted against his wife's inner circle. The king made one final move that day. He summoned Princess Anne. In a closed-door meeting, he handed her a security override authorization for the Royal Communications Division, previously co-managed by Camilla's team. "I need you to be my eyes now," he said. Anne, ever loyal and pragmatic, replied, "We clean this up, and then we rebuild." Special words: Royal Communications Division, authorization, Princess Anne. With Anne and William aligned, Charles had made his choice. The future of the monarchy now rested not on secrecy, but on strategic honesty and a return to trust. With Charles finally aware of the full scope of the hidden vault and Camilla's role in it, the royal response shifted from shock to action. The king's decisions came quickly, his trust shattered, his authority reclaimed. But while internal audits and sealed doors offered temporary containment, the digital trail left behind posed a new threat. Emails, financial logs, and surveillance files had to be traced, decrypted, and investigated. And what investigators would soon find inside those drives would take the scandal to an entirely new level. The digital trail. As ordered by Charles, the palace's cybersecurity unit began immediate forensic analysis on the 16 hard drives retrieved from the vault. Initial scans revealed over 1.7 terabytes of data, some dating back to June 2019. The files included not just communications, but timelines, media briefings, and redacted transcripts from off-record royal interviews. Most disturbing were folders labeled Crisis Planning, Narrative Management, and W&C Countermeasures. Special words: 16, 1.7 terabytes, June 2019. The W&C acronym, used for William and Catherine, confirmed what many feared. Camilla had invested years into quietly undermining the future king and queen. Emails tracked through private servers linked Camilla's aide Edward Bartram with tabloid journalists from at least 4 media outlets. Metadata showed regular contact spikes after major events, such as Prince Louis's 5th birthday, April 2023, and Catherine's Wimbledon appearance, July 2022. Each time, within 48 hours, stories would emerge criticizing their public spending or parenting. Special words. 4 outlets. April 2023, July 2022. 48 hours. Cross-checks revealed that many of those pieces were drafted in nearly identical language to the internal strategy memos found in the vault, suggesting a direct leak chain coordinated by Camilla's camp. Further digging uncovered 3 payments totaling £47,000 made from a discretionary fund to an unnamed media consultant labeled only as BE. Investigators traced these payments to a PR firm based in South London, known for reputation disruption. Bank statements dated 15th February 2023, 6th May 2023, and 9th September 2023 showed clear activity under this alias. Special words. £47,000, South London, 15th February 2023, 6th May 2023, 9th September 2023. The firm was already under quiet investigation by MI5 for influence tactics targeting Parliament officials. With this discovery, Camilla's internal operation was no longer just a palace matter. It was now a potential national security concern. Finally, the drives revealed a secured folder titled Operation Persephone, locked behind military-grade encryption. When decrypted, it contained strategy charts for reputation sabotage, focusing on 2025 succession optics. One shocking slide stated, "Reduce W's likability curve via soft scandals, Q3 2024. Another suggested using archival clips to dilute Diana's image. Special words. 2025, 3, 2024. Operation Persephone. These weren't speculative plans. They were executed strategies. William's instincts had been correct from the beginning. Camilla had worked systematically to reshape the future of the monarchy. One leak, one headline at a time. With digital evidence mounting, the palace had no choice but to expand the investigation. What began as a physical vault beneath Buckingham had revealed a sprawling, strategic campaign of influence, manipulation, and media warfare. The consequences stretched far beyond family tension. They struck at the heart of royal trust and public perception. Now, Charles needed more than a sealed door and revoked access. He needed a plan to dismantle Camilla's empire piece by piece, and for that, he would rely on one person, Princess Anne. Anne takes control. On April 27, 2024, Charles signed a private order transferring oversight of the royal household's Communications and Internal Integrity Office to Princess Anne. Her first act was to freeze all internal media access credentials issued after 2020. This blocked 14 individuals, most from Camilla's office, from entering sensitive departments. Anne wasn't acting out of emotion. She was executing a military-grade containment plan to preserve royal trust. Special words. April 27, 2024, 2020, 14 individuals. Anne then coordinated with the palace's Protocol Security Division, launching full background checks on all media consultants hired through Camilla's legacy development team. 3 of these contractors had past ties to political lobbying firms in Brussels, Toronto, and Dubai. One, hired in January 2022, had been flagged in a previous palace inquiry regarding data sharing. Special words. Brussels, Toronto, January 2022. 3 firms. Anne had their contracts terminated within 48 hours and ordered all project data pulled for review. Her message was simple. The palace would no longer tolerate covert influence from within. Anne also reinstated regular security transparency briefings, last held in 2016, to educate royal staff about information leaks, blackmail patterns, and data espionage. Attendance was made mandatory for all levels, guards, aides, and press officers alike. Special words. 2016. Transparency briefings, all levels. This wasn't just cleanup. It was cultural repair. Anne emphasized that the royal family had survived wars, divorces, and death, but they would not survive if their own members waged psychological warfare on each other from within the palace walls. Finally, Anne instructed that the physical vault itself, originally discovered on April 21st, be converted into a protected historical archive. Anything that didn't belong to official royal business was to be documented, reported, and locked into sealed evidence folders. These would later be reviewed in the autumn of 2024 by the Royal Ethics Tribunal, a body not convened since the Queen's financial inquiry in 1992. Special words. April 21st, autumn 2024, 1992. Anne's decisive actions transformed what could have been a devastating scandal into a controlled exposure. The monarchy had been shaken, but not shattered. The vault scandal breaks. Despite the palace's efforts to contain the scandal, the media storm broke on the evening of May 1st, 2024. An anonymous tip reached the Daily Banner, revealing that a hidden intelligence chamber had been discovered beneath Buckingham Palace, allegedly connected to Queen Camilla. By 6:30 p.m., hashtags like #VaultOfLies, #CamillaExposed, and #DianaWasRight were trending across Twitter/X, TikTok, and YouTube. Special words. May 1st, 2024, 6:30 p.m., #VaultOfLies. Although no images were released, public outrage intensified by the hour. Everyone wanted to know, what had Camilla been hiding? Within 48 hours, 5 major UK broadcasters, including BBC, Sky News, and Channel 4, aired panel discussions questioning Camilla's trustworthiness and demanding transparency. Headlines on May 3rd included, "Is Buckingham being used for black ops?" and "Queen or Puppet Master?" Special words. May 3rd, 5 broadcasters, Channel 4. Even pro-monarchy pundits admitted the optics were disastrous. Leaks of redacted strategy memos titled W&C Narrative Control sparked fury among William and Catherine's supporters. Camilla's reputation, already delicate, was collapsing in real time. Polls released on May 4th, 2024, showed a massive shift. 71% of Britons supported Prince William taking on more constitutional power, while 62% said Camilla should resign from all royal duties. Special words. May 4th, 2024, 71%, 62%. Meanwhile, videos resurfaced of Princess Diana's 1995 Panorama interview, drawing connections between her warnings and the vault's contents. Clips where Diana said, "They think I'm a threat. I know too much," were viewed over 12 million times within 3 days. It was clear the public was no longer just outraged. They felt betrayed. Protesters gathered outside Kensington Palace and Windsor Castle holding signs that read, "Protect William and Catherine, Diana's legacy lives," and "Camilla must go." The monarchy hadn't faced this level of scrutiny since Prince Andrew's BBC scandal in 2019. Special words. Windsor Castle, 2019, BBC scandal. Charles remained silent publicly, but internally, he was facing the most intense pressure of his reign. The vault had been more than a personal betrayal. It had triggered a constitutional crisis. With the monarchy under siege and public trust in free fall, Charles knew that containment was no longer possible. The vault scandal had entered the global spotlight, dragging decades of royal tension into the open. Something more than internal cleanup was needed now. Something visible, decisive, and symbolic. It was time to confront the crisis head-on. And for that, Charles would have to do what no reigning monarch had done in over a century: restrict a queen consort from public royal service permanently. Camilla officially removed. On May 6, 2024, at 3 p.m., Buckingham Palace released a terse statement. At the request of His Majesty the King, Her Majesty Queen Camilla will no longer undertake public engagements effective immediately. Internally, this action was dubbed the Royal Freeze Order, a constitutional move last invoked in 1911. Special words: May 6, 2024, 3 p.m., 1911. Camilla's office was shuttered within hours. Her staff of 28 were reassigned, and her upcoming June engagements were cancelled without rescheduling. For the first time, she was frozen out of royal life. Behind closed doors, Charles signed Executive Order No. 7 RC, which legally restricted Camilla's access to royal documentation, estates, and internal security briefings. The order, drafted by legal aid Lord Anthony Bevan, cited actions incompatible with the integrity of the Crown. Special words: No. 7 RC. Lord Anthony Bevan. Integrity of the Crown. Camilla was relocated to a private estate in Norfolk, under quiet security watch. No official titles were stripped, yet, but insiders believed this was only the beginning. Camilla's reaction, according to palace sources, was explosive. On the evening of May 6th, she attempted to call multiple editors from her inner media circle, none of whom answered. Her closest aide, Edward Bartram, was placed on immediate administrative leave. Special words: May 6th, multiple editors, Edward Bartram. The press, once her ally, had begun abandoning her. Opinion pieces called her a shadow strategist who had gambled and lost. Even foreign dignitaries, including from Canada, France, and Jordan, postponed scheduled receptions involving her. In contrast, the royal calendar for May 2024 was updated to feature Princess Anne, Prince William, and Catherine as central figures in all major public events. The reshuffle wasn't subtle. It was a message. Special words: May 2024. 3 royals. Reshuffle. William was now appearing in daily briefings with Charles, while Catherine took over 3 new patronages previously overseen by Camilla. The monarchy was moving on, leaving Camilla in the past. As Camilla's presence faded from the palace, a new energy began to surge. For the first time in years, the monarchy felt united, re-centered around those who upheld its legacy rather than undermined it. But while the freeze order marked the end of Camilla's influence, it also opened the door to something greater, a chance to rebuild the Crown's relationship with the public. And leading that charge would be the 3 people who had never wavered in loyalty: Anne, William, and Catherine. Diana's legacy rises. Just days after Camilla's removal, a global movement reignited around the memory of Princess Diana. On May 9, 2024, over 150,000 tweets used the hashtag #DianaKnew, connecting her past warnings to the present scandal. Online tribute videos featuring clips from her 1981 wedding, her 1997 charity visits, and the 1995 BBC interview spread across platforms. Special words: May 9, 2024, 150,000 tweets. 1995 BBC. People saw the vault as the final validation of Diana's long-held fears that someone was working to erase her legacy from the royal future. William quietly authorized the release of several never-before-seen photos of Diana from Christmas 1996, including a letter she wrote to him about staying true to truth, even when surrounded by shadows. The images were published in a May 10th edition of The Times, selling out within 4 hours. Special words: Christmas 1996, May 10th, 4 hours. Catherine wore one of Diana's sapphire brooches to a state reception that evening, a silent tribute seen by millions. Meanwhile, Diana's patronages saw a sudden surge in donations. The National AIDS Trust, Centrepoint, and the Halo Trust each reported over £1.2 million raised between May 8th and May 12th, a spike they directly attributed to renewed public connection with Diana. Special words: £1.2 million, May 8th to 12th, 3 charities. William gave a private statement to staff. Mom always said the truth would out. She was right. The monarchy was no longer just cleaning up a scandal. It was rebuilding on the foundation Diana left behind. Younger audiences, especially between ages 18 and 34, voiced overwhelming support for William and Catherine's leadership. A YouGov survey from May 13, 2024, showed 82% approval for William and 77% for Catherine. Special words: 18 to 34, May 13, 2024, 82% approval. The royal narrative had shifted completely. The future now belonged to the Wales family and to Diana's enduring light. With the vault sealed, Camilla removed, and the public rallying around Diana's legacy, the royal house had survived its greatest internal crisis in decades. But survival wasn't enough. Now the monarchy had to restore what had been nearly lost: honor, unity, and clarity. Charles had made his choice, and the next generation, guided by Anne, uplifted by Diana's memory, was ready to step into history. All that remained was one final step: the formal transition of power. A new monarchy rises. On May 18, 2024, Buckingham Palace released a declaration from King Charles. Effective immediately, Prince William will assume the role of Senior Deputy Sovereign, overseeing constitutional duties on my behalf. It was the clearest sign yet that succession had begun, not in name, but in action. Special words: May 18, 2024, Senior Deputy Sovereign, Buckingham Palace. William would now chair Privy Council meetings, receive daily red boxes, and act as Charles's direct representative at state events. Catherine was simultaneously named Honorary Head of State Engagements, a newly created role, giving her full authority to attend foreign receptions and Commonwealth tours. The move followed her flawless leadership during the spring 2024 Kenya visit, where she met with 6 African heads of state. Special words: Spring 2024, 6 heads, Kenya visit. Meanwhile, Princess Anne was granted oversight of the Royal Code Review Board, ensuring no future manipulation of palace operations could go undetected again. By May 21st, the royal schedule had shifted entirely to reflect this transition. William, Catherine, and Anne were booked for 14 appearances over 2 weeks, while Charles focused solely on recovery and private governance. Special words: May 21st, 14 appearances, 2 weeks. Public response was electric. Crowds tripled at every event. School children waved signs reading, "Long live the House of Wales." The monarchy had emerged not just intact, but reborn. And as for Camilla, she remained silent in Norfolk, her name gradually removed from palace briefings and internal documents. No public farewell, no statement, just absence. The story, once filled with hidden vaults and secret plans, had ended not with a roar, but with a royal reset. Diana's sons, Anne's strength, and Charles's late wisdom had secured the crown's future.